Working a job every day that you hate going to. You wake up, you think to yourself, why am I even going? I don't like this job. I've been doing this for years, over and over. I'm not gaining much from it, enough to pay my bills, to make ends meet. But I'm not improving as a person. It's a dead end. I'm not getting anywhere. It's not helping me build upon my relationships with my family, my friends, and the most important relationship you have is with yourself. Unable to build and improve upon that. You get up every day, the alarm goes off, you can go to work at a job you don't want to do. You keep telling yourself, I'll change jobs, I'll change my mind, I'll do it later, I'll do something different. And meanwhile, you have all these other options and things you could do. You have these goals in life, these dreams that you want to do. Time goes by, day by day, week by week, month by month, years by years. Then you think, well, it's only been a couple years. Maybe I'll relax and keep doing this. More years go by. Then it's a decade. Then you make the excuse, well, I'm getting too old. Maybe I should continue taking it easy. More decades go by. You look back on it and think, why didn't I just make that choice? Why didn't I just put the effort in to follow my dreams, my goals, the things that I wanted to do that made me happy? You spent all those years doing something you didn't even want to do just so you could pay the bills and have enough money left over to retire and then sit around doing nothing, but thinking about the things that you could have done in life because you feared doing them or making the commitment or the sacrifice or the risk of failing. You could fail at a job that you don't like. The company could go out of business. You could be injured. Anything could happen. But just because you think that by doing something mediocre that is repetitive and is easy is the best route, it really isn't. Because if you're not challenging yourself to get better, to do more, when a challenging thing happens in life that really knocks you down, if you've been living a very mediocre life in a very weak mind state, and when that difficult time hits you, you're not going to have the strength to overcome it mentally. Whereas if you're following things you enjoy, putting a lot of work into it and pushing yourself really hard every single day, day in and day out, every day you get up, you think about it when you wake up, you work on it every day, you think about it before you go to sleep. And you do it so much to the point that you don't even need an alarm clock to wake up in the morning because your mind has already been set before you even went to bed of when you want to wake up to work on your craft. So just because you're doing something every day that's repetitive and easy doesn't mean that it's safe. Because when things get hard and you get knocked down, it's going to make it that much harder to overcome it. So you might as well do something that is difficult, that might be high risk, that you enjoy doing, that gives you a sense of meaning and purpose in life, something that you can put all the things that bothered you in life into that, channel into it, work hard, and improve yourself. Why would you give up on something that is so important to you? Because you're afraid of failing? Because of what other people think? Because they think that you're not good enough? So what? They can think that all they want, but there's always people that are going to say negative things because they're jealous of what you're doing, because they don't have the courage to do it themselves. They don't want to see you succeed, and they're jealous of that. So they're going to try and tear you down and put you down because of it. And you're going to let the fear of other people stop you from doing what you want to do? Because I know I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to give up just because people don't like who I am. They might not like the way I draw, the way I paint. So what? I like it, I enjoy it, and along the way I've met people and I've helped them to help themselves to be better and to improve. And that's what I enjoy doing this. That's why I find so much meaning in this, And it's not just in that either. There's so many things about it. I use drawing as an escape to my problems, to face them, to think about them, to overcome them, to strengthen myself from within, rather than running away from everything, rather than going and do something that is completely mediocre. The thought of even living my life as just some completely average person doing something that they don't want to do for the rest of their life, that is something I cannot live. If I'm not doing something productive or doing something that involves bettering myself, and it doesn't always have to be in the sense of productivity as in doing work all the time. I mean actually doing something to expand my mind and my body, physically and mentally, through exercise or meditation or thinking. I always like to work on things, be productive, meditate, do what I enjoy. And there's times at places that I've been at, that I've worked, that I'm very focused on the job that I'm doing, that I'm being paid to do, but at the same time I'm thinking very deeply about all the things that I'm going to do when I get home. It gets to a point to where I'm so focused on what I'm working on at home and the things that are important to me that I am on autopilot. I go and I do my job. The entire day can pass by, and it goes by so quickly because I am happy in my mind thinking about the things that I am so passionate about that I will not give up on. Because when I think back to my life when I was younger, what I had to go through, what I had to deal with, that a lot of times I try to explain to some people that might ask me about it, and they say, "Why are you like this? Why do you act this way? Why do you draw so much?" And sometimes I try to explain it to them, and they want to interrupt me or judge me or say something else because they don't want to hear my answer, because they want to just try and put me down rather than actually having a conversation, because they might not have gotten to that point yet. They might not have matured enough. They might not be at a point in life that I can actually explain something to them that they can understand and take to improve themselves. And when it comes to that, rather than trying to say anything, I show them with my actions. And I'm not doing it to try to make a point or prove a point to them, but I just do it for myself. And if they end up seeing that and they follow that and they see that, hey, we have this person here that is doing something they enjoy, and everybody told him it wasn't even possible, I told that person that as well. You know what? Maybe I owe them an apology. Maybe I should go and shake their hand and be humbled at the fact that despite everything they went through in life and everything they had to deal with, they still had the courage to push themselves through that. They still had the courage to keep going despite everybody telling them that it's a waste of time. So, just because you're doing something that feels safe, it's repetitive, you do it every day, going to a job that you don't even like, just to pay the bills, then what's the point? Doing something just to make everybody else money so that you can make ends meet, to live a mediocre life, to make other people's life that much better. Money isn't everything. Sure, you can pay your bills and it can help you. I know that it can be important financially as far as taking care of your health and having food to eat. But there comes a point to where the amount of money and income you make isn't really that important if your mind is poor. You can have a big bank account, but a poor mind, and you can still be very unhappy despite all of that. I would rather have a wealthy mind and less money, but enough to cover the expenses to do the things that I love, that I am passionate about, that despite the difficult times in life, it helps me be a stronger person. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of the things that I do, sprinting, powerlifting, cross-country, drawing, painting, the things that I do I put so much effort in them. I pushed myself so hard. I started drawing when I was only 4 years old, and ever since then I have never given up and I have not quit. If something happens, I always transition into doing one thing to another. Back when I injured my leg in 2013, had surgeries, I wasn't able to do sprinting and powerlifting at the time, so I put more effort into writing poetry and working on drawing. And because of the extra free time that I wasn't spending doing all the training for sprinting and powerlifting, I used it to really think about my life and where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. And with that time, I learned more about myself. And through that, I broke through some barriers that helped me overcome the things in life that I didn't believe in myself, that I didn't believe certain things could be done. And I had this extra time to really think about it. I thought about the life that I used to have. And coming from a very poor family, being extremely abused and not having much of anything. And when I think of that, and I think of where I am now, I feel I'm pretty proud of what I've turned myself into. Although I've had mistakes in life, there might have been times where I might have been a mean person. And during those times, I wasn't in the right state of mind. And it's a topic I will be discussing in a future video, but I will discuss it in more detail. But I wasn't in the right state of mind. I might not have been a very nice person because I had so much going on. And my way of dealing with that eventually was to just take everything that was bothering me, channel that into one thing, use drawing as my escape to the problems to solve them and to overcome them and to better myself. Because I don't want to go back to living my life how it used to be. Waking up every day not having something to eat, not knowing when somebody's going to be abusive to you, not knowing when someone's going to make fun of you because of the way you're dressed, because you're poor, because you go to school and you've got bruises on you and everything. Being made fun of because of the way you talk or the way your hair is cut. It's just those small little things that are just over and over that people keep bothering you about. And not having much of anything. Having people tell you that you're not going to be anything in life and that you're a failure. And at that point, it really did seem that way. It seemed impossible. It seemed like I was never going to get anywhere or be anyone or anything in life. But here I am. I'm not the most famous. I'm not even famous. Not even semi-famous. Barely even known. At this point, I don't even have 1,000 followers. But do I just give up and quit? Is it about fame? No. It's way more than that to me. It's about a meaning and a purpose. I've been doing this my whole life. Before all the social media and YouTube and everything was even out. I've been drawing since I was 4 years old, way long before that. And when I was doing it then, I was never doing it for money, for fame, to be rich, for people to try to like me. I did it for myself, because most of my life people never even liked me in the first place. So I never had any reason to try to do it to make people like me, because it's about me being happy with who I am. Because I was so hungry for improvement, I was never satisfied with where I was in life, because I just kept moving forward. And I looked back on what I was and how things were, and I will never allow myself to go back to that. Life can knock me down, it can push me down, people can tell me it's impossible and a waste of my time, but I'm always going to rise up and keep moving forward, because the suffering and the pain that I put myself through to improve and to get better at all this, it feels like nothing compared to what I used to go through when I was younger. So just believe in yourself and keep pushing yourself. Do the things that you enjoy and don't live a mediocre life just because people tell you that it's impossible or because you fear failure. So go out there and do it. Do what you love to do. Do what you enjoy. Follow your hopes, goals, and dreams in life. Find your meaning and follow it. Be the leader of yourself in life.